Welcome to another exciting edition of Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And it's been a while, but it's one of our favorite times when we go through some of the sales that we have out there, to show you some of the things that are out there, some of the things that you can buy, some of the things you can make some money on, especially with the Christmas season coming. We're almost up to fourth quarter, and keep your eyes open. This stuff sold well here in the third quarter, so imagine what it's going to do in the fourth quarter. We probably left a lot of money on the table, didn't we?
I hope not, but we will see.
So what do you got?
First off, this is not a sold item, but I thought it was really cool. I wanted to talk about it today for whatever reason, because I've never seen this before in this volume, but a complete run of every Sports Illustrated issue starting from the first till a few months ago. So it's like 3,400 issues. I have it on eBay. You're buying it for $11,000 with shipping. It's $3 an issue. It's a great deal because there's a lot of key issues in there.
The cards in there and everything too?
The cards are in there, yeah. There's some bound volumes, yeah. It's a really, really awesome collection. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it, so hopefully they will sell, and I got some spending money for Christmas.
That would be nice, and you know what I need for Christmas, so you can probably spend $8,000 of that on me, and
Sure.
Nice.
You got it.
Your boy Paperboy.
All right, next, let's see. Oh, I didn't click on this one, but here we go now. All right, Jackie Robinson, 1949. I think his first Bowman card. His second, he did a Leaf one, right? First.
He did a 48 Leaf. Yep.
So this one I took for about $2,200, but I didn't. I paid like half of that for it, so I figured, let's turn the money over. Get moving. There's a little flaw on it there, but graded, it could be worth double that. So I'm sure the person who bought that's going to get that graded.
And it's a good time to be selling the cards. We've done the videos before. The market is pretty hot right now.
Sure.
And you don't collect those, so it's not like
Right.
it's a big deal to you as far as that goes.
Exactly. Yeah, and I did have a 1950 Bowman as well. We sold it for like $1,000. So
Nice.
cool piece.
That's $1,000.
You got it. Next up, from my Pokemon collection I picked up, we got 23 sealed packs from I think late 90s, 99 or something like that.
And you've sold similar before, right?
Yeah, these are the chrome ones. These aren't even the gaming ones, but for some reason they were super rare, and I didn't even realize it till I bought them. I paid good money for them, but they sold for $2,300.
That's $100 a piece.
Yeah.
6 bids.
Yeah. So yeah.
Wow. So basically any of those early Pokemon
Anything
things
early Pokemon, and even Magic, any of that early gaming stuff is all hot, and you're talking 20 plus years old now.
Yeah, remind me, I've got a small pile of them I picked up. Not packs, unfortunately, but of gaming cards, that kind of stuff. One's a Japanese language Pokemon or something. I don't know that stuff at all. Bring it in, you can sell it, whatever.
Sure.
I'm not going to learn Japanese just to sell one card.
Next up, keeping with the sports theme, Mickey Mantle signed bronze sports impression statue, which is autographed by him. I had this when I was a kid. I got it signed. My dad had a private signing with him years ago. I've had it for years, and it's just been in storage, and I'm not appreciating it anymore. So I figured, why not sell it? I had it up for like a year. I ended up selling it for about $1,600.
Now, if that weren't signed, what's it worth?
$300-$400 probably. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because they made 536 of them, and he actually signed it with the number of the piece, which was 42, which was his 42nd homer. So kind of neat. All right, next up, for you moviegoers or TV show sci-fi fans, the Cylon Centurion Warrior Battlestar Galactica costume.
Now, is that like a cosplay thing? Somebody made it
Yeah,
themselves?
well, this is vintage, though, and it's really cool. There's not many out there. I was doing some research on them. Not many people, reproduce these things, so they're hard to find. This one for $950. I had it up for like $1,200-$1,300.
Right.
So
wow.
And Halloween's right around the corner. So
yeah.
Perfect. Another Mickey Mantle piece out of my collection, a signed Wilson football. This one went for $900. So cool, but
Now, he was a football player, or?
No, but maybe that's where Nolan Ryan got his warm-up ideas from.
There you go.
Next, Olympic hockey team autographed. I think this is complete or near complete. The gentleman I got it from had photos of everyone signing it at this one show they were together, and I think a couple have passed on since then.
Right.
So this one's for the $755.
Wow. So that came into the store? And
Yep. Yeah, local gentleman had it, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Next, we got Master Replicas Disneyland Monorail. So these are tough to find. They got multiple colors, different versions, but they all go anywhere from $500 to $700.
Now, what's the LE 1959 at the end mean?
I'm assuming limited edition.
Oh, okay.
And
Must have been the way it was in
Yeah,
59 then?
either that or the number. I'd have to ask my lister on that. I never even took it out of the box other than to see that it was like, I think, on a red one.
Oh,
so
so they would have.
this was never displayed. I just made sure it was like complete and stuff. Yeah.
But they did different year monorails, probably.
Yeah, different versions of them. Yeah. And they're tough to find. Anything master replicas, it's they sell out and that's it. All right, this is a recent one. Panini Basketball Hobby Box of Packs. You can get Zion Williamson, John Morant. The market's so hot. These things came out at $300. I almost got double my money out of it. So.
How long ago did you purchase that?
A couple months ago.
So you held on to it for a couple months and almost doubled your money, right?
Yeah, I had it in my shop for sale, but a little too rich for my customers' blood. Kids aren't going to spend $500 on a box of basketball cards.
Right.
They'd rather spend $50 on the Zion rookie or whatever.
Right.
So. And lastly, I was shocked with this. I think I've had this before, but times have changed and things have gone up in price. This was, I would say, close to high grade with no mailing label. It was a newsstand copy. Roberto Clemente, Sports Illustrated from 1967, almost $500.
If you need another one, I know you can get a replacement. A guy's got a whole set for $11,000. Yeah,
and maybe it's worth breaking that up. Sure. But I knew this was good because after it was listed, I had 3 people ask me about selling it offline, and it's one thing I never do. So,
right.
But I didn't think it'd be $500 worth.
Wow, that's something rather to keep your eyes off, because that is the kind of thing that you can find out there when you're shopping. You go to the flea market or whatever, and they've got a pile of Sports Illustrateds, and people just do a quick run through or go, Sports Illustrateds. Yeah. Have to keep that one in mind. You might be able to find that.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, unfortunately, I think if you add everything I put up there together, you wouldn't be able to buy anything you showed, but that's kind of the beauty of it all. First thing I've got over here is American Steel Grave Vault Company. And it's one of those deals, I don't know if you know anybody that ever was involved in that kind of business, selling caskets, that kind of stuff.
My father-in-law, actually.
Oh, well, had he saved all his letterhead, he'd be a rich man. $17 for that over there. It's got the nice little casket graphics on it. And, this is the kind of thing you don't know what the price of that, so I threw it on up there. And it's sat since 2018, but somebody came along and paid full price on it. I've actually got a fair number of things like that out in the garage. I just have to find the box because I was at an auction, and I paid pretty good on the pile. But again, it's a pile like this with letterheads and that stuff in it. Who knows how many of them are possibly in it. So I will do well once I dig it out of the garage. But it's kind of just a neat little item. The next thing over here we have is Star Weekly. Now, this was a supplement to the Sunday newspaper. And this is one of those deals that you would think Arnold Palmer was the reason that it sold, but it actually, the person that purchased it had Rock as part of his name. And Rufus Rockhead's Paradise is a Montreal black club, basically, is what it was from back in the 60s. And he would bring all of the big jazz performers and all that stuff up to Montreal. Cool. And I noticed him in there. He's got a little blurb down on the bottom of the cover. Did some research on him, and I said, that might be what ends up selling the place. So the item. So I put some pictures of that and all that up there as well, and it ended up selling, which is kind of funny because you and I come at things from a sports aspect. And certainly 10 years ago, we would have mentioned Arnold Palmer and probably not mentioned Rufus Rockhead.
Exactly.
Well, that ends up being what sold it because that's a lot more obscure than something with Arnold Palmer in it. So it's just kind of an interesting way to look at things, an interesting way to sell things, and how we've evolved in selling things throughout the years as well.
Sure.
Next thing up over here, an 86-year-old woman became unwed mother. You would have thought that would have made more papers at the time.
Yeah, crazy.
But yeah, it's an interesting paper. The cover is just great. It's also got James Mansfield in it, Haley Mills, who always sells, and the Rolling Stones were busted on drug charges at the time. Right. So it's one of those tabloid kind of papers. So it's got a lot of interesting comment. Obviously, I put pictures up on each of those things, but I just had to show you the cover because I just made me laugh. And if you read the bottom, the father was 12 years old. So
nice.
I'm not sure if either of them were aliens. They may have been. You have to search out another copy of the issue and do some research.
The tabloids haven't changed too much over the
last
not
50
too much.
Years. No, hashtag fake news. Next thing over here, and this is just kind of an interesting thing. I don't generally deal in this kind of thing. It's a toy carrying case. It's about, 9 inches high, something rather like that. Decent shape. But I actually went to a sale and was walking around the sale, and it was sitting down at the sale for a few dollars. And I just looked at it and I said, that's kind of nice shape. can't be a lot of them out there. Did a quick search on my phone and couldn't find that exact one, but I saw they were selling for around $20. So I said, let me buy it. And again, it's not the kind of thing I usually buy. Put it up and it sold for full price in about a month, something other like that. But I guess that'll just show you when you're out at the sales, yes, I'm a paper dealer. That's what I deal in. I deal in paper magazine, that kind of thing. Yet that seemed a good enough price, old enough, nice enough shape. It just caught my eyes.
Right.
Isn't the kind of thing that I deal in. Yet I put $20 or $15 or whatever I put in my pocket after all my expenses just for having an open mind to things. And I think that's pretty important to anybody out there. It's nice to specialize, but know a good deal outside your area.
Right.
Slam dunks, take them. I mean, they're there.
Is Betsy McCall the character?
Yes. Yep. And
Betsy, hold on. Betsy, if you're out there, you should be suing the Bratz company for copying your face. Go ahead.
Nice. It actually came out of McCall's magazine. They did a lot of paper dolls and all that stuff from back in the 1930s and 40s. And that is actually one thing, if you do pick up old McCall's magazines, check to see if the paper dolls are in there, because a lot of times people cut those out and people do collect those. So do check to see if the paper dolls are in the old McCall's before you buy them, unless you're getting them absolutely right. Fight racial and religious hate blotter.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, it was. It's been up since 2016. Sold for full price. I'm trying to think of the year. I think it was 1950s or 60s. So kind of interesting. But when that sold, that's exactly what I thought. I said, hey, that's kind of neat that people have been preaching against racism since back then. And somebody finally, it took them 4 years, but somebody finally said, hey, that would be an interesting addition to my collection. Yeah. Kind of a neat little item there on that there. And, $17 for a little piece of paper that I probably paid a couple of bucks for at a sale, or it came in a box, a lot of other stuff. It's not like I searched that out at a sale.
Right.
It kind of came to me somehow. Now this one is really interesting. I took an offer. I didn't really end up making too much money on it, but the reason why I brought it up, 2,000 pinbacks. Do you know who I sold this to? A census worker.
Oh, really?
They said, can you rush it out? What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the 2000 to 2020. So they were going to somehow or other change the 0 into a 2 so that they could use it when they were out doing their census work. Wow. First thing I thought was, isn't there a budget for taking the census? Don't you get some kind of buttons or something like that? I know I pay enough in taxes.
A sticker you can slap
some
on.
Of it would go something. But my other thought was, hey, God bless the guy. Like I said, I made probably $1 when all was said and done off of it. But God bless the guy. He's doing good work, and I'm happy to have contributed. And it I don't know, for some reason or other, I liked his ingenuity, that this is what I'm going to do. Good for him, and I'm glad I could help a little bit and put $1 in my pocket.
Sadly, there's only 8 employees.
Each of them's going to get one. Didn't you sell the little sticker with the 2 on it? You sold 8 of those, as a matter of fact. So you forgot to bring it up, though. Now, this is another thing that kind of shows the evolution. And this is a Philadelphia thermometer company. I would guess 1930s. It's a neat piece. It's a very nice piece. Got a lot of illustrations in it of thermometers and all that kind of thing. But years ago, and I paid a few dollars for it. I knew it was a nice piece. I would have put it up at $20 and been happy. Now I looked at it. I couldn't find any comps on it. If you do TerraPeak, everything that comes up are the actual thermometers. There's no catalog. I said, you know something? I'm going to put it at 40, and it ended up selling at the bid. And I probably did undersell it even at 40 because it is a very nice catalog. Right. But I'm looking at it that years ago I would have taken 20 on it and been happy. Right. So it's been a long, slow process. But I'm kind of coming to the understanding that when you do come across something good, ask your price on it, because it's good. And there are no other ones out there that I could find on this. This isn't like it's, not to disparage anything, but it's not like it's a February 1985 Motor Trend magazine that you could buy 12 of. It's a difficult piece to find. So I probably could have put 60 on it and the guy may still have bought it. I don't know.
Sure.
But I'm happy with the $40 off of it, especially because I would have taken 20 years ago on it. Next thing here, I think I've shown this before, but again, it's the creepiest cover out there.
Definitely creepy.
And I even said a creepy man and manhole cover.
Oh, man.
I do have two of them, believe it or not, and one did sell. One did sell at my asking price. I have one more left.
He's way too happy.
Well, I think I'd be happy too. Till
He's got gloves on, so no fingerprints.
Till they drag me away to prison. But that's just a great cover, and I don't know who thought of doing that one, but it's a great cover, and there is one more available at $16 if you decide that you have to have that in your creepy collection.
Too bad they're not around anymore. They could do a commemorative issue.
That'd be super, yeah. Then we've got this over here, and if I asked you iconic covers, you would probably say the National Geographic with the Afghan girl.
Yeah.
You would probably say the one with John and Yoko in bed together.
Sure.
And you'd probably say the Vanity Fair. And this is one of along with like the first Marilyn Monroe with her waving.
Sure. I will now. Sure.
But yeah, you've got a few iconic covers, and this is definitely one of them that, there have been parody covers of this throughout time, et cetera, et cetera. This is just one of those covers, the National Lampoon with the dog with the gun to his head.
Right.
That's another one of those iconic covers. Yeah. So don't be afraid to mention iconic cover if you come across something like this or one of those other ones we mentioned, because it's just probably the best known Vanity Fair cover out there. And it does sell things. People do keep their eyes open for this magazine. I mean, I listed it in 2019. I got full asking price out of it. So very happy with it. And it's an easy enough cover to remember. So do mention iconic. And last but certainly not least, we have this over here. And it's kind of a neat piece.
Cool.
It's got Michael Jackson on it of the Jackson 5, Red Fox, Count Basie, Tom Jones, and many other people. I did list everybody in the listing. But the nice thing about this was it was inside of a playbill that I purchased from Westbury Music, along with some other things that I had purchased. It was actually in there, and as soon as I saw the Jackson 5, I said, somebody's going to want this. And, sure enough, I kind of put it up for the $32. It sold right away. Very, very happy with that. But if you are getting into buying playbills and that kind of stuff, if you're starting to page through them and you start seeing that there are the various advertisements, add that into your head as, hey, yeah, sure, I'm paying 50 cents or 75 cents a playbill or whatever it is, but there's other stuff hidden in there. And a lot of times the stuff in there, especially if it's an older playbill for a flop, believe it or not, some of the flop programs and some of the flop advertisements actually sell better than the well-known ones because they were only out for a week or two, or they only advertise it for a week and then they pull it off Broadway. So sometimes those are some of the better things as well. And if you went and you did a search on eBay right now, if you did a search of Broadway flop, that actually is something that people search on.
Wow.
So yeah, you're looking through this pile of playbills, you're like, I never heard of half of these. Probably worth buying because those could be some of the more valuable ones versus the things that had 9-year runs and all that sort of thing. So just kind of neat. Check inside playbills, and if you've never heard of the playbill, might be one that you want to purchase. Obviously, if you're paying real money for it, people want $10 a playbill. Do your research, but a lot of people just wholesale them out. They get a big pile of them. They just want to get rid of them. So if you're going through them and you see titles you've never heard of before, it's probably worth buying. So hopefully you got some ideas out of that. You found some things in there that kind of, neat items. If you do want a full run of Sports Illustrated, we have one. If you want a really creepy guy in a manhole cover looking up at girls, we have that as well. So pretty much run the full gamut here. So we'll see you next video.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.